Hi, Scorpio. Okay, so here's your card, just so you can zone into your energy just a tad bit. You can see the depths of, the waters. So this is going to be your January 4th to the 31st. Let's just go ahead and do the whole month. 30th or 31st, whatever day it is. I have to check later. But we're going to go ahead and do the whole rest of the month. Happy New Year to you all. I'm super excited to be reading for you. Scorpio usually comes up around the end of the month for like whenever I'm trying to figure out who I'm going to read for. But you guys were the first ones for this month. So we're going to see what's popping for you guys. And hopefully there's lots of good news that I can tell you, okay? So let's go ahead and get started. Alrighty, first card out. Alrighty. So here we have the 9 of Wands. So this is a situation where you are kind of holding back. You're kind of you're preparing for a certain moment, but some of you may feel as though you're not quite ready to start something or to finish something. It's a matter of something to do with work. Maybe you're working on something, but you've put a halt to it. Almost like you are prepared and you have the things that you need, but you are still kind of taking some time to not go on with, like, procrastinating. And I also feel like it could be just a mental thing. You're maybe stuck on a mental issue that may be giving you a bit of dis-ease with being able to move forward with things. And it could also be a sense of not feeling comfortable in your domestic home, or just maybe not feeling comfortable with your funds. It could be something just as simple as that. Just money-wise, you're feeling a little bit like you need more, or maybe some of you are saving because you feel like you don't have enough just yet. But what I'm seeing is you actually are ready. Physically, you could put in the work if you wanted to, but it's all about your mental state. And I feel like you're just not as confident financially at the moment, and it's causing you to not move forward with the things that you've already started, okay? So we're going to go ahead and move to the second card that came out. This is the Knave of Swords, or the Page of Swords, whichever one you prefer to call him. And so this is a person who's really thinking, they're planning something, but they're, pretty young-minded. This is a person who is a little bit more on the young side. There's some studying that needs to be done, some examining that needs to be done. And this could be a reflection of you, or maybe just lies that you feel like are happening. It doesn't have to necessarily be lies, but it could also be communication in your life. I feel as though there is maybe some arguments going on. Maybe someone's not admitting something to themselves, whether it's you or another person. There's a sense of this lingering communication that needs to be fixed, or you would like it to be fixed so things could come together. And you may have to use certain occasions to try to get through to a person, or maybe it's like there's a sense of something needs to be unblocked, but there's an awkwardness between the person that needs to be settled with. There's an awkwardness with the situation maybe, or the situation that was lied about. There's a sense of communication error, and it needs to be fixed, okay? So we move on to the Four of Swords in reverse. So again, with this communication, you are done sitting and waiting at this point. This is around the end of, I would say, the first part of your January. So not necessarily the middle yet, but leading into the middle, I feel like you have a sense of urgency to either communicate how you feel now, or you are at a point where you're done just thinking negative. You're done taking a rest. You're actually ready to start doing some movement, whether it's physically or just mentally communicating with someone. But I feel as though it's time for you to start putting your things into action, and for you to start enjoying life. There's things that you're missing out on because mentally you're not prepared to be around these things. You could be self-sabotaging is what I'm feeling. You're not communicating enough. And I feel like you're finally getting to a point where you are starting to see that you need to communicate in order for things to actually go smooth in the situation that's involving your life. So 1 second while I start to shuffle the next cards for the middle of your January. So as a recap, it seems as though you start off having issues of wanting to do more, but you're procrastinating because there's some things that you haven't worked out mentally. And then you move to a state where you're starting to realize that it's the communication that needs to be fixed. It's the thoughts, it's the processing that needs to be fixed. And then you get to the very end of the beginning of your January, and you see that it's time to stop thinking so much and start doing and putting more effort into what you want, okay? So let's move into the middle of your January. First card out. All right, so this is going to be heavy energy in the middle of your January, okay? The Death card in reverse. So the first feeling that I thought about this is usually rebirth when you see the Death card. But since it's in reverse, I feel like there's some old things or maybe some old skeletons that are going to be brought back up in the middle of your January. But it could involve an Aries because we have the Fool card coming up. But this could also have a sense of attachment to who you were in the past. Maybe this was the more naive you, and it's coming back up. Some decisions that were made when you were just naive. Or it could also be just a newer perspective on the past that you have and opportunities that you have open to you, and now you're starting to see them as more of opportunities instead of like missed opportunities. I feel like some old things may come back and you may see them in a different light, and you'll see it as a new pathway to get something done. You'll see it as a new opportunity to use as a tool. Again with the Aries is popping up very strong here. This is the Emperor. But as you can see, he is definitely Aries fueled. And I feel like you're starting to either be around an Aries, someone is, around you that is definitely an Aries, sun, moon, or rising. Or this could be just you kind of bossing up and seeing and realizing the potential that you have. And then also physically being able to see that there's things that will be put into motion very soon. It's just a matter of waiting. You've done the work to have what you need. Remember, we said you were already prepared physically. It's just you were not ready to, you weren't as confident in your finances, and you weren't confident in the thoughts that you were having about how things would turn out. But I am starting to see that if this is an Aries that is not you, they're definitely coming in and they're coming back. And I think there's a sense of, is this going to work? Or is this going to be a situation where we can be around each other, whether it's platonic or love related? I definitely do see an Aries here. And if this is not dealing with an Aries, this is you really starting to see past missed opportunities come back into fruition, and you can start to use that momentum or maybe figure out where things went wrong in the first place, okay? But the meaning behind it all is there's a sense of urgency, a sense of energy that is coming together in the middle of your January, and it's causing you to really, really have this mentality of I do what I want, and there's going to be a surgence for it, okay? So we move to the Magician's card. I love to see this card. There's magic in the air, and it's you that's creating it. There's opportunity that's nearby. This is a wonderful card if you're trying to get something started, if you're trying to, if you just need a little oomph of magic just to get things done. But the key to remembering what the Magician card is all about you putting in that last touch of magic, you using your intuition, your will to make something happen. This is all about self. This is also represented with the number 1. And the number 1 is, also in correspondence with the male energy, as in ego and logic, and also just kind of doing for self, you know what I mean? And not necessarily so focused on doing things for other people. Doesn't mean that you can't have, it doesn't mean that you can't help other people, but I feel like you're in a mode where you're so focused on helping yourself that it fuels you to be able to do more things for yourself, and then that will set you up to be able to help other people. Do you understand what I'm saying? So this could be magic in anything that you're doing. Let me go ahead and see what else comes out. Okay. So this past love relationship that just happened, or maybe a situation that was very toxic, I feel like you're having the gall and the will to finally be like, okay, I'm going to start to direct how I want this to play out, whether it's good, whether it's reconstructing the relationship, whether it's seeing that it's not a good relationship and getting out of it. It's you finally making some type of decision, you finally putting in some type of work, effort, and getting some type of result out of it. Now, this could also have nothing to do with love and just more to do with just your path in life. And I feel like you're starting to just make more decisions. And it doesn't have to be everything plays out and it falls into place as soon as you start. But there's a sense of you just starting and then things working out because you are starting to create your reality as a Scorpio should do. And I feel like there's a sense of maybe you don't know how it's going to go. Maybe you don't know what it's going to lead to, but you can feel that this is just what you want to do. And so you're finally getting into that mode and feeling more confident to do so. But we do have the 2 of Wands here backing up at the bottom of the deck. So I do feel like whatever you're trying to start, there's going to be success in this. And even if it's not the ultimate goal of success, there is progress, and there's also a sense of expanding that's happening, and it's for the better, okay? So whatever decision you make and whatever the situation is involving, you definitely will see growth, okay? So we move to the Judgment card here, and this is going to be ending your middle of January. And so there's going to have to be a decision made. So again, with all of this thinking that you've been doing, with all of this energy that you'll start to feel with empowerment and making your own decisions and doing what you want about situations, there will be a major decision. And being that the Judgment card is here, there could be a very intense situation that causes you to have to make a decision. Does it have to be bad? It just depends on how the energy's been going and how you deal with the energies that are here with us. I do feel as though you need to be calculated. You need to make sure that whenever you make this decision, you are thinking for yourself, but also thinking for the greater good for your life. Not just yourself in this moment, but more so yourself for the future, the self that you want to see yourself become. Is whatever you're trying to make a decision on, is it worth you trying to keep working on it? Is it worth your alignment? Is it benefiting your alignment? All of these things play a huge part. And if you feel like there's no harmony, whether it's dealing with love, friendship, family, finances, if you feel like there's a situation where there's just no love, there's no harmony in it, then maybe you should move on from it. And there may be a sense of past betrayal that I'm seeing here, and things just not working. And then sometimes they can just be perfectly working, but there's a sense of like this secretive, like sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not, depending on the day, depending on how the moon is that day. That's how it goes. And that's not a good way to stay stable. It's not constant enough. It's just, it changes too much for you. And I feel like there's a situation where you need to really make a decision that's logical for yourself, and also whoever you care about that is supposed to be in your life in the future that you cannot see yourself without. And I don't necessarily just mean love. I mean your children, the family around you, the things that really are going to matter to you, the people who are going to be there no matter what, the things that are constant. You need to match up the things that are not constant and see if it's helping you, if it's pushing things into alignment, if it's actually putting two forces together so that you can benefit, yourself. And I think that would be a huge factor for you to determine what to do next. So you really need to think about it that way. All right. So we're going to move into the end of your January. Let's see what comes out. First card out. Alrighty. So we have the 10 of Cups here. So I really like to see this card. This is a time where things are really just working out for your purpose, for your benefit, and things are just kind of going smooth sailing. It might not make sense. You might not even understand how everything is working out, but everything feels okay, and everything feels safe for the most part. I feel like this also could be a blessing for some of you if you've been needing something, if you've been wanting something. This is a time where you will receive it. But I also feel like this could just be a very, very calm moment for people who are having just really, really tough lives right now. It'll just be a sense of peace for a little bit, it'll be like a situation where you finally can just let your hair down and you can just relax for a second. You don't have to try to be confident or overly zealous, or you know what I'm saying. It's a time for you to just relax and just sit in what's going on, and I feel like it provides a sense of peace for you. 7 of Pentacles in reverse. So some of you may just be taking some time away from work. Others may actually just be feeling like what they're doing, their normal routine, is not working. They want to shake things up. And that's perfectly normal for some people, but being that you are a Scorpio, it could be very, very weird for you to start feeling, okay, I need to change something. Something needs to happen. But I'm here to tell you, whatever you are ready to change, whatever is starting to feel kind of weird and you have doubts about, just keep holding on. You have the Sun card here. So whatever you're hoping for, whatever your wish is, it is coming true, and it's coming towards you towards the end of January. But you have to just keep the hope alive and kind of keep like this Leo childlike spirit about you. You have to stay youthful. You have to make sure that you aren't stressing yourself out too much, because things are going to fall into place soon. So even if you just feel like your job is just terrible, or it's been getting really rough on you, it seems as though there's going to either be a Leo that's coming through or a blessing that you've been waiting for that's really going to make things come together for you and help you out in the midst of whatever it is that's going on. And I definitely think it's geared towards more of your finances or just your job itself. Okay? And this could also be a gift from someone or maybe a boost in some type of financial way. So definitely just recoverance. And then we have the Empress card here. So definitely a sense of money coming your way and a sense of, you know, being able to appreciate what you have. So with that, I definitely think there's going to be a lot of time for gratitude and just time of appreciation that you're going to notice. So the end of January is looking very, very good for you, Scorpio. And then we ended off with the Justice card here, okay? So this could be a Libra in your life, or this could just be just a sense of fairness, a sense of justice, a sense of things finally making sense and finally being logically fair and just. And so this could be in any part of your life. I feel as though we have 3 cards that came out. We have the Queen of Wands, the Queen of Pentacles, and the Knave of Wands, sorry, in reverse. So here we have 2 women. And so this is typically, you know, all the fire signs, and then this is the earth sign. But what this mainly means is that I feel like you're finally starting to understand yourself as a leader, or more so in control of your destiny. And you're being able to create what you need to create, but it's also yielding a lot of financial, you know, blessings that are coming your way. And I feel like this is what you deserved. And I feel like whoever this person is here, whoever this kind of childish, they don't think before they do type of fire sign, I feel like they're starting to see the other end of the stick. It's finally flipping. The tables are turning. And I feel like you will finally be able to see that everything is going to be leveled out by the end of your January. And it can't get much better than this. The only thing that I can say is really be on the lookout for making bad decisions, foot and mouth syndrome, things like that. Just be a little bit more calculated excuse me, by the time the end of your January hits. You have to start thinking a little bit more and being a little bit more logical so that things can fall into place, all right? I definitely see a boost in your finances coming in the end of January, so that's definitely good. But also just a sense of you finding your own desires and you going after what you want. And I think that's really, really important because Scorpio's just been kind of in the mist, you know, floating lately. And I feel like it's finally time for you guys to receive some blessings. So I'm so happy that you guys are actually going to be receiving that. I hope that you make the best decisions for yourself. If you need any help or if you need to have any direction on what decision to make, you can contact me at lovefromtheleo@gmail.com so that you can receive a reading. I offer different types. So just message me and request a reading and I can tell you what I'm offering right now. Go ahead and like, subscribe, or share this video. I love when you guys do all of that. Comment. Let me know what you're thinking. Let me know how things are going. And I will see you in the next one. All right? Bye, Scorpio.